Thank you, Mr. Chairman, and thanks to both of you for your service and for being here. And Admiral Richard, let me just say, as others have said, one of your strongest qualities has been your, since I've known you anyways, been your forthrightness and your clarity. But I have to say, in the moment that we're in right now, I've especially appreciated your boldness and clarity. We need to hear it. The people we work for need to hear it. I also have to compliment you on your composure, being able to sit through some of this. The suggestion that there hasn't been enough variables or enough varying opinions to commit $630 billion over 10 years to the most important deterrence to aggression in the world is frightening enough, but it's galling in the context that around here, some people think nothing of spending trillions of dollars over the course of 10 months or 10 weeks or even 10 days based on the opinion of one person at HHS. And I'll leave it at that. So congratulations on having composure as well. I do want to get back to an issue that Senator Blackburn raised with regard to the postponement of that ICBM launch. As you can imagine, those of us in North Dakota pay close attention to those things. I appreciated your answer, particularly your commitment that it is only a postponement, that it is now rescheduled. Did you agree with that postponing that, if I might ask?
Senator, I had an opportunity to directly advise the Secretary of Defense, among others. I think it would be best if I left that advice private between him and I.
I understand and appreciate that, because it seems to me that reality is now clashing with some people's fantasies. And I appreciate you raising the reality of the moment. You said it well a little bit ago when you said our opponents' actions are speaking as loudly as anything that we could probably say. General, I want to talk a little bit about, I want to bring it home a little bit as well. You, of course, are very familiar. You and I visited the very old Parks radar station, the Cavalier radar station, now a Cavalier Space Force station. It seems like last month, but I think it was probably a year or two ago. As you know, we have this very important early warning system. It's designed to, of course, warn us early in case something's coming over the Arctic. Now it, of course, has been monitoring space as well. You have talked about the need for decision superiority. That was, I think, something you referenced or talked quite a bit about over the last couple of years. I'm just wondering if the Parks Array at Cavalier Space Station that relies on this very old technology, if there's modernization opportunities for our decision superiority as well that we should be talking about.
Senator, thank you, and I did enjoy my trip up there. I think it was over a year ago, maybe 2 years ago now. But certainly that particular sensor and all of those early warning radars are very critical to our overall architecture to be able to provide that missile warning, missile defense, and space domain awareness. So critical to provide that very decision space to our national level leaders. So in terms of what that capability is today, we continue to look at that through a life cycle management. And really I work very closely with the Space Force because they're ultimately in charge of those upgrades and the modernization of those assets. What I do is I identify whether or not we have a gap or a requirement that would need that. So we're working very closely with them, and we're looking at the entire architecture, not just necessarily one asset, because as we look to the future, it will not only be a terrestrial-based type of capability that is up there right now, but we'll look at a space capability too that augments that, so we have a layered warning capability globally.
I think, Admiral, you had mentioned earlier, maybe both of you have talked about throughout this hearing the delay or interruption in funding of modernization, what that means, that the kind of signal that sends, the practical, functional consequences of that. Let me ask this: if we were in this place able to get our act together, if we were able to have enough consensus and realization that modernization is not just important but critical, and if we were to have the political will, would it even be possible to not only not delay but even accelerate any part of modernization if we were able to make that case?
Hey, Senator, I would, defer to the services to give you the specifics of that. But I think you're hitting at, we need to ask questions differently. We used to ask, what's it going to take? And we have gotten into the habit of saying, how are we going to mitigate our assumed delay or failure? We used to ask the question the other way around. That's how we got to the moon by 1969. Yes. We need to get back to understanding the operational risk is on par with programmatic and technical risk, reverse the way we ask questions, and get back to producing capabilities the way we used to.
Appreciate it. Thank you both. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.